Today we're briefly going to talk about selling on Mercari. I want to cover the new smart pricing feature that they just introduced for sellers, how it can help you sell more, and more importantly, whether or not you should use it. So first and foremost, what is Mercari Smart Pricing? Mercari Smart Pricing is a feature that they just introduced to help you automate your sales and promotions on Mercari. And in my opinion, it's super exciting that they're rolling out these new features like this to help sellers sell more on the platform. Now, what I usually teach sellers to do, and this is a strategy that I even use myself every single day, is to set their prices very, very high and then promote their items site-wide to accumulate likes and interest. Then, once you do have that interest, you can promote to the likers to convert them to buyers. The new smart pricing feature eliminates the need for that because it's literally a set it and forget it automation that Mercari will do for you. For example, let's say you set your initial price at like $40. Then you enable smart pricing with maybe a floor price of $15. Well, in that instance, Mercari would slowly drop your price and promote it site-wide for you over the coming weeks. And if no one purchased it, then eventually it would hit the floor price of $15 and smart pricing would be automatically turned off. And that kind of touches on how it can help you sell more, right? Instead of having to actually spend the time to promote your own listings site-wide, and keep in mind that you're only allowed to promote 10 of those per day, and having to actually spend the time to constantly make offers to those likers, this feature will automate the entire selling process for you. That way you can literally just focus on sourcing new products and listing them and not necessarily having to worry about converting those people into potential buyers. So that begs the question then, should you use it? Now, I'm gonna answer this in two different ways, and I'll tell you, whether I think it's best for most people, and I'll also tell you whether or not I plan on using it myself in my own Mercari store. And it's important to understand that everybody runs their reselling business first and foremost differently, okay? For me specifically, I'm not too keen on utilizing this feature all that much, to be honest. The reason for that is that I'm more interested in listing my products high, like I said before, and selling them at a higher price point, even if that means I have to wait a few weeks or a few months even for my items to sell. I'm personally willing to wait, have my cash flow tied up for longer periods of time, and really focus on building out a reselling business where I'm constantly adding profitable inventory with high ROIs. In that instance, the more profitable inventory you have listed, generally speaking, assuming it has a demand for it, then the more sales and the more profit you can expect to bring in every single month. And that might be your business model too, and your goals as well. Or you might be on the other side of the spectrum, right? You might be focused on turning over, profit and cash flow and flipping your products quickly. And in that case, then you might want to think about utilizing this feature a little bit more. There's really no right or wrong approach to this. It's really just what's right for you. So ask yourself if you're more focused on, profit over time, or if you're more focused on, flipping products quickly, even if your ROIs and your profit's a little bit lower. I see, one major advantage of this feature and really one major disadvantage. The major, advantage being obviously that, like we talked about, it takes your time out of the equation and sells for you. And that is big, don't get me wrong. The major disadvantage that I see, obviously, being that you're giving up control of what you can potentially sell your products for. Meaning that you could set smart pricing up across a variety of your listings, and then it ends up dropping all your prices significantly and killing your margins. Now, I do also suppose that, if they drop the price too low and you're not comfortable with the price and it hasn't accumulated, obviously, a buy or enough interest at that point, then at that point you could relist it, which really only takes about 20 seconds on Mercari anyway, set up smart pricing again, and have another automated go at it. And you can just keep rinsing and repeating that process. So that's my take on it. I've tested it out on dozens of my own listings, and it's worked well on some, but it's also tanked the price without much interest gained on others. So I plan on just continuing to list my prices high and then promote them myself. It really only usually takes me about 5 minutes in the morning to promote my 10 listings site-wide every day and make, maybe 10 listings to offers depending on the listings. And that's not something that I kind of have like a formula for. It's kind of just like a gut feel that I say, hey, I want to promote this today. I see it's accumulated more interest. You don't have to follow my model though. I'd recommend testing it out yourself, on some of your listings, not necessarily all if you have no experience with it. If it's working well, then obviously keep using it. And if not, then your best bet is to just use what I recommend, which is list high, accumulate interest, and sell with that technique. I also have several other tips that I've outlined in the video right here if you're interested on other ways that you can increase your Mercari sales. But I'd love to hear from you though. What are your thoughts on the new smart pricing feature that Mercari has rolled out for sellers? Have you used it? If so, what has your experience been with it? Would you recommend it or not? And if you haven't used it, do you plan to? Let me know down in the comment section below, and I'll see you in the next one.